protecting the environment for future generations. That's a refrain you hear from all our environmental heroes. It's all about leaving our children a world at least as good as the one we had, and if we work hard enough, one that's even better. Our next environmental hero grew up along this North Carolina coast at a time when kids and families could swim, fish, and crab in relatively unpolluted waters. But that didn't last long, as thousands of people moved here in search of jobs, homes, and a piece of their own paradise. Meantime, a growing inland population led to more pollution in rivers that wound its way into these waters. The coast needed a guardian. One hero stepped forward. Bogue Sound lies off the coast of North Carolina, part of the intracoastal waterway separating the mainland from a series of barrier islands. The region is home to diverse wildlife and has attracted pirates and fishermen. And in the last 30 years, growing numbers of tourists and developers. Coastal resident Todd Miller says the Sound was his childhood playground.
One of the things that I remember very clearly was how clear the water was back then. You could walk around with a crab net and find crabs and pick them up and see them, even in waist-deep water.
Spending time on the water was a way of life for Miller and his family.
We had a wooden sailboat that we used to sail across Bogue Sound to what's now Emerald Island, but at that point it looked much like this. And we'd spend hours, running through the dunes looking for the perfect Christmas tree.
Back in the 1950s and 60s, Bogue Sound lapped up onto mostly rugged, undeveloped land. The fishing industry prospered, but as Miller grew up, he watched development overtake the once untouched coast, endangering the health of waterways and industries that depended on the region's clean water.
It's not hard to envision what is going to happen to our coast, because all you have to do is go to Myrtle Beach or go to Virginia Beach or other urbanized coastlines around the United States. There the water is polluted. They don't have the natural resources that we have, and the culture is very different.
Miller's longtime friend Lena Ritter comes from 7 generations of local fishermen. She's worked with Miller to save threatened coastal land.
Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would see happening what is happening here on the coast. It's just unbelievable.
In the 1970s, development along the North Carolina coast boomed. At that time, Miller left home to pursue a degree in city and regional planning. He saw how pollution was threatening water quality all over the country and decided to use his newfound expertise to save the place where he grew up before it was too late.
Once it's gone, it's almost impossible to really turn the clock back and recover many of these areas.
He returned home in 1982 to start the North Carolina Coastal Federation to protect the state's waterways and shorelines.
It started out with just me and my dog, basically, and we had very little money, so I worked out of my house, had a room devoted to it.
Under Miller's leadership, the nonprofit advocacy group's membership grew to more than 8,000.
That it's a passion of his that something be left for others like he had and I had as a child. And you just don't ruin what Mother Nature gave you.
One way Miller has done that is by focusing on what he considers the biggest threat to clean water: pollution from stormwater runoff.
It really is a fundamental shift in the ecology of the region when you don't control the runoff that comes from the landscape.
Development turns natural areas along the coast into hardened surfaces that don't absorb rainwater. Stormwater collects pollutants like bacteria, oil, and pesticides, flushing them into waterways. Phosphorus and nitrogen found in fertilizers move from fields and lawns toward the coast, increasing growth of algae in the water. Algae then consume oxygen, killing fish and other sea life. To reduce stormwater pollution, the Coastal Federation uses several strategies. One way is to acquire land. Miller and friend Lena Ritter helped the Coastal Federation buy this plot of undeveloped shoreline that acts as a buffer, absorbing pollutants that would otherwise run off into the adjacent sound. But Miller recognizes he can't prevent all coastal development.
It's going to come, and it's happening, and we're not going to stop it. And so, to the degree that we can guide it and do it in a way that doesn't destroy everything we have here, we're going to be much better off.
The Coastal Federation also works with communities to cut down stormwater pollution from seaside developments. One success story is Hammocks Beach State Park. The Coastal Federation worked with the park to remove several paved surfaces and redirect stormwater runoff away from the sound. Park Ranger Sam Bland says he likes the low-impact strategies the Coastal Federation used. The ranger credits Miller for the success.
It is unusual to find somebody that creates their visions and turns them into reality, and a reality that helps people.
Preserving water quality also helps preserve the region's culture and industry.
Seafood right here.
More than 11 million people visit the North Carolina coast each year to enjoy the water and the seafood. Over the last 25 years, the Coastal Federation has protected the region's coast, culture, and industry.
These are oysters, they're like clams, they have 2 shells.
I mean, the hope is that we keep waters in Bogue Sound and up and down our coast, that we can go out and still, with our feet, pick up clams while we're swimming and bring them home and have them for dinner.
A decade ago, Miller, his wife, and children moved back to his childhood home on the Sound, 100 yards from where his father, Teddy, lives.
Oh, I happen to be very proud of that, his performance, because I'm a believer that we're custodians of the land and not owners. And that's pretty much the attitude around here.
For now, Miller is content doing the things he's done all his life, enjoying and saving his childhood playground. All of us can be environmental heroes. All it takes is vision, hard work, and support from family, friends, and community. Whether you're turning garbage into gold, saving farmland, or protecting the coast, it's all about changing the way we think and live. You can be a hero. Think about the world you want and work toward making it happen. For Environmental Heroes, I'm Tom Linden.